This is CBC Here and Now.
Top of the evening to you from the St. Patrick's Day party in downtown St. John's. What some say is the best St. Patrick's Day party in the whole world, maybe even better than you know where. We'll take you there live.
A fire in North River levels a garage and barn and claims the life of a horse.
Water just started pouring down through all three levels.
The weekend weather is still hurting homes and businesses. Why these stores are shut down. Well, you heard about the musical, but Gander's response to 9/11 is now also a book. How this stranded passenger story will give back.
Well, it's weekend time, and after a wicked, windy weekend last weekend, this one much calmer and brighter. We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up.
Good evening, I'm Peter Cowan. Welcome to Here and Now. RCMP Constable Cameron Lockhart won't be going to prison tonight after being found guilty of assault. The chances of him keeping his job with the force have also improved. Here Now's Glenn Payette explains.
The Crown had wanted RCMP Constable Cameron Lockhart to go to prison for 14 days. But Supreme Court Justice Deborah Paquette said that wasn't necessary. In November, Lockhart was found guilty of assaulting a former girlfriend about 8 years ago. He didn't want her going to a stagette. They argued and he choked her. She couldn't breathe for a moment and cried, but was not injured. In sentencing Lockhart to 14 days house arrest, Paquette noted the long passage of time since the offense and that Lockhart has not been in any other trouble, and that he was on active duty until being charged in 2014. Paquette also noted that the case has had a lot of media attention and that Lockhart has been shamed, stigmatized, and shunned by his peers. She said he has been virtually isolated and alone given that his family is in Ontario, and he has fallen into a deep depression and has sought counseling. Paquette said even though this was a domestic situation and that Lockhart is a police officer, he is not a threat to the public. She said 14 days house arrest is a sufficient sentence to meet the needs of deterrence for Lockhart and to denounce the crime. Lockhart's lawyer, Nick Avis, has already said they will be appealing the assault conviction. The Crown had also wanted Lockhart to be banned from having a firearm. Again, Paquette didn't agree. Paquette said that could stop him from working as a police officer. Now the RCMP has to decide if there will be any internal disciplinary action against Lockhart. That could range from a letter of reprimand all the way up to dismissal. The force could also decide to wait until the outcome of the appeal. Glenn Payette, CBC News, St. John's.
We know a little more tonight about what's inside next month's provincial budget. The government has unveiled a plan to spend close to $3 billion to improve roads, schools, and healthcare facilities over a 5-year period. The 5-year plan will see close to $700 million spent on transportation infrastructure, including roads and bridges, while about $600 million will go towards major projects at Memorial University and healthcare facilities. The province is also partnering with Ottawa to build or improve municipal buildings and recreation centres. Now, some of the projects will include a new electrical substation to service Memorial University and the Health Sciences Centre. They're also working on a replacement for the Waterford Hospital, but there isn't the money in there to build it, at least just yet. And they are going to be building or improving water treatment plants across the province and the already announced long-term care home in Corner Brook. A Conception Bay North family lost their horse in an early morning fire today. The 12-year-old racehorse was inside a barn destroyed by fire. Bay de Grave Regional Fire Department responded to the call just after 7 o'clock. But Fire Chief Jim Edmonds says by the time they got to the house in North River, it was just too late. The barn and garage attached to the house were already engulfed in flames. Vinyl siding melted on the house as well, with a fair amount of damage to the back of the house. Edmonds says no one was hurt and the flames didn't get inside the house. Firefighters and police are not sure what caused the fire.
The owner said when he came out, there was an animal in the barn. He went in to try to get him, but when he got there, he said it was too late. So.
And you have a family connection to this, Chief Edmonds?
Matter of fact, this is my uncle's house, and yeah, it's pretty sad for him and his family there today. Actually, I think the animal was belonging to his daughter, so for her, it was just like one of her children.
Well, another family in this province is coping with the aftermath of a house fire tonight, one that seriously injured one person. It happened in Sandy Cove on the northern peninsula. 3 people were inside the house when the fire started last night around 9:30. They got out, but not before one person was badly burned. He was taken to hospital in St. Anthony. Well, a group of snowmobilers near Stephenville pulled together this week to help out a fellow rider who fell through a sinkhole. Charlie White was exploring the backcountry and making videos for his YouTube page when he was waved down by 3 men. He and other snowmobilers were asked to help pull out a Polaris from the cold waters of Cold Brook, where it sat at the bottom of an 8-foot hole. White said the riders were lucky that he wasn't pinned underneath the machine, and while no one was injured, he hopes this video will remind riders to be a little more cautious, especially as the snow begins to melt. And as you can see there, with some shovels and some manpower, they were able to finally successfully get that snowmobile out. Now, this particular story has a happy ending, but unfortunately, Newfoundland has had 6 fatal snowmobile crashes in the last 2 months. In about 20 minutes, I'll take a look at snowmobile safety through the eyes of someone who spends a lot of time riding the trails in this province and find out why he wants helmets to be mandatory. Well, 2 taxis on the west coast are now wheelchair accessible. Drivers from Corner Brook and Rocky Harbour received money from the government to retrofit their vans, giving people in those 2 communities better access to transportation. Here now's Colleen Connors has more from Corner Brook.
This van has been transformed to fit a wheelchair. A few quick strap adjustments and the passenger is in.
Less than 5 minutes.
Okay,
yeah.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Not very easy, very simple.
Todd Edmonds applied for a $25,000 grant from the government to retrofit his rig. This cab driver has been offering fares in Corner Brook since the 80s. This new cab offers rides to people with mobility issues.
Yeah, it makes you feel good when you can go and pick up someone that can't get around very well, and we can make it a lot easier for them. Yeah, it do make you feel good.
Star Taxi in Corner Brook and Pittman's Taxi in Norris Point were awarded grants to renovate their wheels. The Accessible Taxi program was announced in Corner Brook today. For Terry Gardner, who's blind, the mobility-friendly service goes beyond wheelchairs.
And the very first thing I noticed when Todd opened the door for me, because he came to the door and met me, was that this van is actually set up for low vision as well. It has contrast in the van to go with that.
Mobility-friendly rides like these change how Gardner gets around.
So I can go to the mall, I can make my appointment to the doctor or go to the hospital or wherever, or my friend's place. You can do that now. The opportunity is here.
The 2 taxi companies had their wheelchair ramps installed in December, but haven't been advertising the extra service to the public until now. Edmonds hopes to provide his mobility taxi to people at the hospital and those in long-term care centres in the city. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
2 days after rain poured through the damaged roof of a St. John's apartment building, business owners on the ground floor are still sizing up the damage. Here now's Dan McEachran has more.
The property management firm that oversees Churchill Square Apartments says the roof has been repaired following Saturday's heavy windstorm and the building is watertight again. But so much rain had already gotten in that the electrical system was damaged, and it could be a while before some of the hardest hit shops reopen. The co-owner of Alpine Country Lodge says any delay will be costly.
It's an extended closure. I mean, we can't afford to be closed for that long. We're losing thousands of dollars a day at this. So, we do have insurance for that. However, we'd prefer to get open as quickly as we can, just so we don't lose any, our customer base is very important to us. So we don't want to lose any time with them.
Heritage Salon suffered minimal damage, and owner Beverly Dwyer will be ready to go as soon as electricity is restored. She says she's more worried about neighboring businesses and those who live upstairs.
And like the apartments upstairs too, like there's a lot of elderly ladies live up there. There's one actually up there that's 95, and I know for sure she doesn't have any children. So I would think it would be quite a disruption for her to have to leave her apartment. And there's a few 80-year-olds that come down here and have their hair done. But I'm pretty sure that most of those have family that would have looked at, would have taken care of her, right?
The owner of the company that manages the building, Charlie Oliver, says he hopes to know early next week when the power will be back on. After that, businesses will reopen on a shop-by-shop basis. For some, it could be a matter of days. For others, a matter of months. Daniel McEachran, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, Irish eyes are smiling all over the province tonight, but especially in downtown St. John's. St. Patrick's Day celebrations are in full swing, and that's where we find the luckiest man in television tonight, Zach O'Gowdy. So Zach, set the scene for us.
Well, Peter, the maybe early evening, but the Patrick's Day party is well underway here and at every Irish bar in downtown St. John's. This is what some people call the best St. Patrick's Day party in the world, and I'm here with someone who would know. She's from McAllister, lives in Montreal, but you are from?
I'm from Newry, Northern Ireland, and I have spent many St. Patrick's Days in Dublin, the Republic of Ireland. So I have experienced St. Patrick's Day firsthand, the real thing, and I've got to say, this thing is intense. This is the real, we call it Ireland 2.0 because it's all the good things of St. Patrick's Day without all of the kind of intensity of the Irish celebration. So it's really the authentic St. Patrick's Day experience here. It's amazing.
Gee, for someone from Ireland, do they take this as a celebration of your culture rather than an appropriation of it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of weird to see Dollarama having like a whole lot of green stuff a month before St. Patrick's Day. It's a bit disconcerting. But honestly, when you get to the day, it's not an appropriation anymore. It's really a big celebration. Everyone wants to be Irish or is Irish, and it's a great, great experience. And having a really Irish name and kind of really Irish culture, you're just kind of embracing it, and you feel like a bit of a queen, you know, being the only Irish person in a bar or whatever. It's cool. We love it. In Ireland, we love it, and we love celebrating it all over the world.
Wow, Seabird, that's really heartening to hear. Thank you so much, and enjoy St. John's.
Thank you, thanks. It was a great time.
As you can see, everything is well underway inside. About the only thing that can happen on this St. Patrick's Day is the weather. My friend Ryan Snoddon is checking on that. Ryan, there's at least 100 people lined up outside this bar. What kind of a night are we in for outside?
Well, the good news, Zach, things relatively quiet, though we are watching for some flurries. Thank you very much. Great stuff there. I love Ireland 2.0, and again, hoping everybody in the background there didn't call in sick for work today. Looks like a pretty good time down there. In terms of how things are looking outside, here is how the forecast shapes up through this evening. One on the plus side, over the next hour or so, we will dip below zero through this evening and into the overnight. And for last call around -3, flurries could amount to as much as 5 centimeters by tomorrow morning, and the winds will shift from southwest to northerly through the overnight. So keep an eye on that. And in terms of the entire province, there's that +1 in St. John's, -2 in Corner Brook by 7 p.m. and Labrador clearing out quite nicely. But if you do have plans on the island, anywhere across the island this evening, and you are traveling, be mindful that we will be seeing those flurries on the go. At times, a little on the steady side for the central and eastern portions of the island, and that is where we will see upwards of, again, 5 centimeters by Saturday morning. We'll have a full breakdown on your forecast for the weekend and a look into next week in just a few minutes. Peter?
Well, after this week, most of us know about the musical version of Gander and how it responded to the September 11th attacks. Now one of the characters in Come From Away has written a book about the event, and some of the profits will be used to pay it forward. We'll hear more after the break.
When they're nesting, the birds of Baccalieu make the island's cliffs come alive.
Ah yes, the birds of Baccalieu. Later, we'll take a look at this strange phenomenon that supposedly happens off Bay de Verde on St. Patrick's Day. Time to welcome back Ryan, who's taking a look at the weather. Ryan, both of us were busy working last weekend, unexpectedly, with all that unexpectedly strong winds. Please tell us that this weekend it's going to be a whole lot quieter for us and for everyone who enjoys their home in one piece.
Yeah, that's right. And for those that did have their home impacted, some time to finally get some repairs done before our next system that's coming in Monday into Tuesday. But a very quiet weekend as we say officially farewell to winter.
Excellent.
Yes. By the way, spring arrives at 7:58 a.m. Newfoundland time. That would be 7:28 in most of Labrador on Monday morning. So yes, officially the last weekend of winter, and we'll see some lingering flurries Saturday after I mentioned that 2 to 5 centimeters across most of the island, possibilities of 2 to 5 centimeters tonight, anywhere from a coating to 5, looking possible for pretty much everybody. Looking at a Super Sunday shaping up, lots of sun on the menu. Temperatures are going to creep back up above the freezing mark for most of the island. And Sheila's squeegee, perhaps, for Monday into Tuesday, looking like we could see some snow and ice on the leading edge of that system, but it's looking more and more likely that it will be a push of warm air and a mix over to some showers and drizzle for pretty much all of Newfoundland and maybe even southeastern parts of Labrador, depending on that setup. Again, lots of uncertainty. We'll get into that a little more with your long-range forecast. Highs today, yeah, we were above zero for basically the eastern half of the island, from Badger eastward to St. John's. -7 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Labrador City checked in around -7 for a high, and -6 in Nain. And as we take a look at current temperatures, we've dipped off just a little bit across the Big Land. -1 in Corner Brook. We're still at 2 on the plus side in St. John's, and winds have been relatively light today. And that's generally the theme of the weekend, although winds will be a little bit breezier for Saturday in from the north, with some sustained winds near 20 and some gusts to the 30 to 40 range. Not strong for this neck of the woods, but a little breezier than they will be on Sunday, where they really back right off across the island. Okay, so in terms of your satellite and radar picture, there are some flurries right now along parts of the west coast, Corner Brook and up through the Deer Lake region. None of these are particularly heavy, but if you are traveling on the roads, expect some flurries and some snow cover on the Trans-Canada Highway and areas around the Corner Brook region. System that's passing just to the east, a very weak one, will again bring more flurries into the mix for the Avalon than anywhere else across and up the northeast coast for anywhere else. More here than anywhere else tonight, and this is what we're looking at for your timeline. There are those flurries pushing in across the Avalon, eastern Newfoundland, and again, there's that little wave that's going to be shooting through even in towards tomorrow morning. 2 to 5 centimeters, as I mentioned, for pretty much everyone across the island tonight. Temperatures will range from -3 in the southeast to -10 for low-lying inland areas of central, and -22 to as chilly as -27 to start the day in Lab West. Note the flurries, still possible for pretty much everyone tomorrow, but isolated, very isolated. More sun and cloud on the menu than anything else tomorrow. Again, those winds will be in the 20 kilometer per hour range, and we're going to see temperatures anywhere from -1 in St. John's to 0 around the Burin Peninsula, -5 for Happy Valley Goose Bay towards Labrador City. And we'll walk you through your timeline. Note those winds on Sunday becoming a little bit lighter, so that's going to allow that sunshine to really start to warm us up, and we'll be back above the freezing mark on Sunday for the island. We'll talk about that and that Monday into Tuesday system in full detail in just a few minutes. Peter?
Thank you very much, Ryan. Well, a character who was immortalized in Come From Away launched his new book in Gander today. He's fresh off Broadway, and he's using his spot in the limelight to raise money for Syrian refugees. Here now's Chris Ensing has more.
With each signature, a story.
I've been asking people, what's your 9/11 story?
Kevin Turriff is an American, one of the plain people. He was stranded in Gander on 9/11. This book documents his days in central Newfoundland, a story that's made its way to Broadway in Come From Away.
And next to it is a town called Gander.
Here's Turriff standing beside Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, sharing a laugh. Turriff gave Sophie Gregoire Trudeau a copy of his book, and the Prime Minister his thanks.
I said, I want to thank you for how you are handling the refugee situation, and I wish that our country would follow your lead.
Which brings us back to Gander. This moment, one of Central Newfoundland's first refugee families arriving at the airport. The same airport Turf came through.
There's a lot that we had in common with refugees. Basically, a war had broken out. We had no information, we didn't know what was going on, and we needed food, clothing, and shelter. And Gander stepped up when they didn't have to.
Turf plans to donate part of the profits from his book to the Gander Refugee Outreach Group, a group preparing to welcome their 5th family to town. His launch sold well today with a little help from fellow Come From Away character Claude Elliott. The mayor snuck in a selfie with Ivanka Trump this week, and he hopes Trump left the theater with a better understanding of Canada's compassion for the Plain people and Syrian refugees.
Oh, I think so. I spoke to her after the show, and she said that she was very impressed, that she enjoyed the musical, she enjoyed the play, and she thanked me.
Today, Turf said he was impressed by the stories still coming to the surface about the day the world came to a town that's now ready to inspire the world. Chris Ensing, CBC News, Gander.
A current and former Justice Minister were among a group of lawyers promoted to Queen's Counsel at a ceremony at Supreme Court earlier today. Andrew Parsons and Felix Collins, along with 9 other lawyers, were promoted to the front benches. Parsons sits as in the legislature as the Liberal member for Burgeo-Lapoil and has been Justice Minister since 2015. Collins was Minister of Justice from 2009 until 2012. The Queen's Counsel designation is mostly about status. A QC lawyer gets to wear a special silk robe and generally gets to charge a little bit more, as well as getting the privilege of sitting in the front row of a courtroom. There have been several fatalities on snowmobiles in this province. Is it time to change the rules when it comes to helmets? My next guest thinks so. Find out why coming up. Welcome back to Here and Now. It seems almost every weekend there's a story about someone being killed or badly injured on a snowmobile. So far this year there have been at least 6 fatalities in the province. So what can be done to prevent that from happening? I'm with Rick Noseworthy. He's with the Avalon Trailway Association. So Rick, what goes through your mind when you hear about another fatality?
It's mixed emotions, actually. You know, you feel very sad. There's a life lost, someone who's not much different than yourself, who recreates all the time. But then there's also anger when you find out that, you know, a lot of these could be very preventable.
So how can they be prevented?
Well, they can be prevented by something that's very simple as wearing a helmet. Be aware of your environment. These machines are very rider active. That's what makes them so much fun. You ride over uneven terrain. You need to be aware of what you're riding over, and always, always wear a helmet.
So is it time for helmets to become mandatory?
It certainly is. In my world of ATVs, it's always been mandatory. As you mentioned earlier, motorcycles, mandatory. Here's a snowmobile here, 255 horsepower, can reach speeds of 200 kilometers an hour, and you don't need to wear a helmet on it. It just does not make sense.
What about the issue of alcohol? I guess traditionally when people are going to the cabin, you know, you're having a beer. Are enough people making that distinction that if I'm going to have that beer at the cabin, I'm not going to hop on my snowmobile afterwards?
No, that is a problem. It's a factor. It's been a factor in a lot of accidents. From what I understand, one of the accidents this year, alcohol is definitely a factor in that one. There's a culture. A lot of times people think on a snowmobile, oh, I'm going out, it's cold, I need something for a nip and to keep me warm. And you know, that's been ever since time. You know, you see the commercials on TV where someone gets lost in the Alps and the St. Bernard shows up with a keg of brandy around his neck, but it's the complete opposite. But that's something that we have to break the trend. You know, people think that it's all right to have a nip. They think that it's not impaired because they're on an off-highway vehicle, which is not the case. If it has a motor, you can be charged with impaired.
This is the message that we hear not just from people like you, we hear it from the RCMP, you hear it from the provincial government, and it seems in many ways to be common sense. Why is it taking so much in order for it to sink in for many people?
I don't know. One of the things you learn with this safety stuff is that common sense is not that common. And you see a lot of mistakes being made, and you feel for the person who's died, that you think if they had the last 3 seconds of their life over, they'd rethink it. But you know, there's times that there's accidents and you just scratch your head and you go, no helmet? You know, you drove into open water, you know, you're impaired. You're in an area where your machine doesn't handle well, like on a road, you're interacting with traffic. You know, I just don't understand the commonality of it. But there's never been, I wouldn't say never, but accidents that are just plain, simple accidents where a guy is riding his snowmobile down a groomed trail and has an accident, they're rare. There's always a contributing factor.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with me.
Thank you.
But each one must be perfect, and there is a method to the madness. Coming up on Here and Now, we'll show you the barman's secret to the perfect pint.
Welcome back to Here and Now. St. Patrick's Day celebrations are underway across the country, but in Vancouver, one pub is being ridiculed for its blasphemous treatment of Ireland's favorite beer. The Vancouver's Raytown Cafe ran a St. Patrick's Day ad featuring a pint of Guinness, but just take a look at the foam running inelegantly over the top of that glass. Well, they faced a lot of backlash on social media, some calling it the worst Guinness pour ever. Now, the bar has since apologized and is running a new ad featuring a proper pint. But now that we've seen the worst pour, what about the secrets to getting the best pour from the tap? Let's go back to Zach Gowdy for that story. He's live on George Street, where there are many a pint being poured this evening. So, Zach, what's the secret here?
Well, let's ask the man who knows. Barman Chris Sampson is an expert in pouring Guinness, and he has a certificate to prove it. Chris, just tell us about this.
This was a contest that we done at Brodie Malloy's there back in February. We had a contest of pouring who could pour the best Guinness, and I think we all done pretty well with it. But it was the Guinness crew that came in and checked to see how our pour Guinness was, and apparently we all done a perfect pour.
Officially Guinness certified. Well, listen, there's no better man to ask about this. What do you think? I showed you the photo earlier of the pint of Guinness with the foam running down the sides. I mean, what do you think? Never? Blasphemy.
It's definitely not a proper pour.
Well, you show us the proper pour. Please take us through the barman's secrets. I know there's a method to this.
So first you start with a dry glass, a clean dry glass. You hold your glass to the harp in your Guinness at a 45-degree angle.
So you get a nice slow pour. You can sort of see the doing its famous thing, the settling effect.
Yes, so now when it reaches the golden harp, you let it settle at the golden harp, lay it down flat.
You can sort of see the Guinness thick cascade.
The ruby settles to the white, the creamy white, that means that it's good to start a slow pour.
Why is it important to have this halfway point? I always see the bartenders doing this as I'm always ordering Guinnesses. Why is this important?
It's important because people like the white head, and it's a smoother pour point. It keeps the bubbles out of it. It's just a proper pour, I guess.
Chris, how many of these Guinness pints have you poured today?
I'd say I'm after pouring over 100, right?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, we're after going through a few kegs.
And the day has just begun.
Just begun.
Well,
Still a long weekend for Paddy's yet.
Well, I'm sure someone is going to enjoy this one. Thank you so much for sharing your secrets with me.
No worries, guys. Thank you.
This is one of the special ingredients to a good St. Patrick's Day, the libations. A lady walked in here a moment ago and insisted that I take her hat, another ingredient, shall we say, to a fine St. Patrick's Day in downtown St. John's. The fashion, we got the drinks, we got the fashion. Hey, we got it all. Reporting live from Bridie's, I'm Zach Gowdy for Here and Now.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Zach. I'm sure someone will be enjoying that pint momentarily. Well, Liberal MP Seamus O'Regan is drawing parallels between the Irish-Canadian experience and the current refugee crisis. The MP for St. John South Mount Pearl spoke in the House of Commons last week. He says 100,000 poor Irish immigrants fled terror and persecution in the 1800s, and many were met with anti-immigrant attitudes when they arrived.
Speaker, in 1847, the Dominion of Canada numbered some 1.5 million people. Yet, small as we were then, we welcomed some 100,000 Irish immigrants. Immigrants who were leaving a devastating famine behind them, fleeing terror and persecution. In 1847, the Irish were treated with the same contempt and vitriol that is levied at other immigrants today. Ignorant, lazy, newspapers read, improvident, unthankful, and as vicious as they are poor. Fenians, papists, here to impose their own religious laws on us all. Political parties were formed and fueled for fear of them, for fear of us. Some Irish forget that. I don't. Some 38,000 Irish passed through Toronto in 1847. Toronto then was a city of only 20,000 people. 38,000. Taken in by 20,000 already here. And that's what I'll remember this St. Patrick's Day.
Well,
history lesson there.
Absolutely. And before we get to the weather, Ryan, I want to tease your taste buds a little bit about the Tasty Tunes event.
Right.
CBC NL is planning to raise a bit of money for the Community Food Sharing Association. It's coming up on March 25th. There's going to be some talented musicians and...
Yes, Amelia Curran will be there as well, and some very talented chefs, just like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, getting involved in Tasty Tunes is another opportunity for us to kind of support our local, you know, food sharing association and stuff. So obviously food charities, you know, Newfoundland food is something that's really important to us. So anything that we can do to help the cause and, you know, going to a fun event with some great Newfoundland, you know, singer-songwriters, musical talent, you know, just add our little bit to that mix for a good cause. And, I mean, obviously it's something that we enjoy doing and it's fun and we do a good thing at the same time. So. Root veg hash, Mallard Cottage classic, little onions, garlic, saute a little bit, throw in some roasted root veg, little butter, get it all going, kind of get it all coated in that nice butter, then we throw in some greens on top. We kind of make sure it all gets heated through, season it a little bit, a little sunny side egg on the top, instant breakfast classic, it's awesome.
So hungry, so hungry. So just a reminder, that's Saturday, March 25th at the Delta Hotel in St. John's. All of the money raised going to the Community Food Sharing Association. If you want to buy a ticket, check out the events page at cbc.ca/NL. Okay, let's get to that weekend forecast. And as I mentioned earlier, 2 to 5 centimeters, generally speaking, across the island tonight. Could see a little less in some areas, a tad bit more possible from the northeast coast down across the Avalon. Labrador clearing out quite nicely. And again, that's thanks to this area of high pressure, which is a really key part of the forecast moving forward. This high is going to build in over our region over the next couple of days. How strong that high is going to be key. Is these lows will work their way towards the coast, emerging into one solid system that then works up and into our neck of the woods for early next week. The timing of that low is still very much in question thanks to that high. And have a look. It's drawing in some warmer air with it. 22 in Orlando today. 21 even as far north as St. Louis, Des Moines at 18, -5 in Winnipeg. When you see these sharp temperature contrasts, that's where we're going to find these low pressure systems brewing up, and that's what that one will be bringing in is a little bit of cold air and then some warm air. Here's how things will play out. So there are those flurries tonight, clearing out quite nicely for the most part by Saturday morning, but an isolated flurry risk from St. John's to Corner Brook. Primarily in the morning, but a possibility even into the afternoon. Temperatures riding that freezing line for the island. We're looking at -5 for inland parts of Labrador. For Saturday night in through Sunday, note the winds that will be sustained near 20 on Saturday, really starting to ease off for Sunday afternoon. That's going to allow the sunshine to really start to, you'll be able to feel it on this, even the last official day of winter. Light winds will help our temperatures up to 2 on the plus side, maybe even a tad bit warmer in some backyards, -4 to -5 across Labrador. And again, a little chilly start, by the way, on Sunday in the minus double digits for central and west. So here's our system by the time we get to Sunday evening. And again, this is just showing precip. I do think we'll see some snow on the leading edge of this from Nova Scotia and then finally up into Newfoundland. Right now, this is a GFS forecast model, which shows that snow building in through Monday morning into the afternoon. I think that's likely the best, safest bet right now is that we will see some snow, ice pellets, then even some freezing rain for Monday afternoon, even as far east as St. John's, despite what this model is showing. And then finally, a mix over to some rain and drizzle is in my forecast from St. John's through central towards the west coast by the time we get to the Monday evening and especially Monday overnight. And in fact, I think even southeastern Labrador might see a mix over to some rain and drizzle from this one eventually by the time we get to Tuesday. Have a look at those temperature highs on Tuesday. So that's why we've been calling this Sheila's squeegee, perhaps, if these current projections hold. And then we'll see a bit of a cold push behind this system, of course, next week. Cooler than normal temperatures for the latter half of the week in my 7-day right now. And into Labrador again, a beautiful weekend with the possibility of that snow moving in on Tuesday and some mixing possible in the southeast.
Now it's time for today's Young Athlete of the Day, and she comes to us from Botwood. Mackenzie Rousel is 12 years old and plays center with the under-15 Botwood Blades, the AAA Central Ice Pack, and the Newfoundland and Labrador Rock Crushers.
It was with the Rock Crushers that Mackenzie traveled to Toronto last summer and was Central's only representative at the Queen of the Ring tournament. You're an inspiration, Mackenzie. Congrats on being chosen as today's Young Athlete of the Day.
Well, in true St. Paddy's Day spirit, here's reporter Jacob Barker getting schooled on a bit of Irish dance. You've got Bree Roach there at the Legion in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Yeah, I don't think he should be giving up his day job anytime soon. Bree's pretty good though. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Here and Now, and here's an interesting tidbit you likely don't know about St. Patrick's Day. It's not just known as a day of celebration in this province, it's also the day that birds return to Bacalao Island or off Bay de Verde. It's a natural phenomenon that CBC reporter Red Sharon documented back in March of 1990 with this report. Take a look.
Now, off of Bacalao Island today, you won't see many birds at all. Not like there can be anyways. Just the occasional bald eagle swooping the surface for his daily meal. But before long, they'll be back. It's not a story the young people of Bay de Verde can tell you. It's a tale that resides with the older folk. One that's told in the sheds and stages of Bay de Verde by fellows like Frank and Edward Walsh. Two Irishmen who say you know when it's St. Paddy's Day because that's the day the birds return to Bacalao.
Yes, comes back on St. Patrick's Day. And before he comes back, you'll see him off in the water in thousands, away off the island, pitching. You wouldn't get handy to them in a boat because they often tried, you know, go out after the boys, and every minute they hear the boys, they hear the punt going, the motor going, they was gone to wing.
I never believed that, but it's the truth.
It's the truth, it's on.
When I was down there 1 week up to Frank Ryan's.
Yeah.
And I asked him one day, yes, he said, indeed it is.
Yeah.
True, it's the sun.
Yeah,
and if there's any ice in the cliff, they won't stay.
No, they won't stop.
They'll go on again and come back again, maybe the next day or a few days after.
Yeah.
But if there's no ice, they'll stay.
Yeah.
When they're nesting, the birds of Baccalieu make the island's cliffs come alive. It's sanctuary for the widest variety of seabirds in North America. Turs, puffins, kittiwakes, gannets, they all call Baccalieu home. And at one time, so did Frank Walsh. But that was over 60 years ago. Still, he remembers a lot about the birds and the racket they could make.
They were spelling and they bawling. Oh my God, talk about bawling out of him. You never had nothing like it in your life.
As for St. Patrick's Day, Frank and Edward, both in their 80s, say they don't bother anymore.
No, that's gone. That's back. Celebration days. Getting the wrapper stuff for St.
time we celebrated.
The wrapper stuff for St. Patrick's Day and 12th Day and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't had a drink now in 20-odd years.
And do these two Irishmen know why the birds come back on St. Paddy's Day?
I don't know.
No?
No, I don't know anything about when they come back. No, you either. No one else knows why they come back. That's their own business, isn't it? They come, they got some kind of a sign, haven't they?
As you sip on your green beer in some crowded celebrating pub, remember, off the northwest tip of the Avalon, there's another gathering taking place. It's the birds flocking back to Baccalieu, with a little Irish luck. Red Sharon, CBC News, Bay de Verde.
Now, we haven't been able to confirm whether or not the birds still return on this date, but if you're in the area and you've taken a few photos, we'd love to see them. Send them into Here and Now, and we'll get them on the show on Monday. Well, to national news tonight, two small planes collided over a bustling Quebec shopping mall today, killing one pilot and seriously injuring the other.
I believe a wing fell. It almost hit me. So I turned the corner with the vehicle to go look, and I saw an exact piece of wing. So I decided at that moment I should probably call 911.
Now, witnesses report a loud boom and then seeing a plane that was completely crushed. The accident happened in St. Bruno, about 25 kilometers south of Montreal. It happened shortly before 1 this afternoon. One of the planes landed in the shopping center's parking lot, the other on the roof. There's no word on the cause of the crash yet, but the weather was clear. Well, Senator Don Meredith has broken his silence as calls grow for his resignation. In an interview with Canadian Press, Meredith apologized for a sex scandal involving a teenage girl, but he also suggested that racism played a role in his troubles.
For 6 years, I've sat in the Senate of Canada and consistently faced racism and discrimination. Almost every single institution where individuals of color rise and somehow they're taken down. Whether it's self-inflicted or orchestrated.
Meredith says his doctor has advised him to take a leave of absence. He also says he isn't ready to resign. The Senate is currently investigating whether it has the power to expel a senator and declare the seat vacant by a simple majority vote. Meredith is also being investigated over separate allegations of workplace harassment. Well, the Conservative leadership campaign has taken a nasty turn. The party is investigating allegations of vote rigging and fraud made by Kevin O'Leary. O'Leary is accusing backroom organizers of using prepaid credit cards to sign up, quote, fake members. He says the membership system is being played by what he calls activists. The Conservative Party says it is looking into the claims. Today, leadership rival Maxime Bernier fired back, calling O'Leary, quote, a bad candidate and a loser. We'll take a look at this dramatic video of a mudslide in Peru. She's a bit hard to pick out, but that's a woman emerging from that swirling mass of mud and debris on the outskirts of Lima. She says she survived by holding onto pieces of wood and tree branches. Bystanders helped pull her out of the mud, and she was immediately taken to hospital. The woman's in stable condition and is expected to be okay.
How badly do people want to get in on the St. Patrick's Day party in St. John's? Well, would you wait in this lineup? Would you do it in a t-shirt? We'll bring you another look at the Paddy's Day party on George Street coming up on Here and Now.
If you've got a little one at home, you know how bath time can be a real chore. Turns out that rings true for both people and pandas. This is from a research base in China showing one mother that isn't putting up with any of her cub's dirty tricks. No matter where her cub runs, there's no escaping the bath or the wrath of mom. No matter how cute, adorable, fuzzy, and cuddly you happen to be. Well, here's something you wouldn't expect to hear in the winter. Watch out for that wave. Well, this is a train station near Rhinecliff, New York, after a major snowfall a few days ago, and watch that slow motion video of what a wallop that train can deliver. The person who posted the video didn't say what happened after the snow settled, but I'm guessing everyone on that platform showed up to work a little worse for wear that day.
All right, just a quick recap on your forecast for tomorrow as we take a look at temperatures kind of riding that freezing line, that isolated risk of flurries, but some sunshine in the mix as well. Sunday looking even better. And our viewer picture of the day, you want to see how much snow they've had in Brig Bay on the Northern Peninsula. Well, Gord, he's been trying to dig out his truck cap that he stored last fall. He stands 5'5". And you can see he's been doing a lot of digging there, Peter, and he's not quite there yet.
Well, I guess there'll be a little bit of rain coming in, so
That's true.
shrink that down
soon enough.
Should ice it right in there good and hard,
Yeah,
so there we
right.
go. It's now time to take a look at a few people celebrating birthdays and anniversaries this week. Happy 50th anniversary for Richard and Mona Green from Old Fort Bay, Quebec, celebrating on Sunday. Happy 54th wedding anniversary to Pat and Loretta Healy of Holyrood, celebrating today. Happy 99th birthday going out to Verena Trask, shown here with 5 generations of her family. Congratulations to Ira and Golda Rogers, celebrating their 56th anniversary. Happy 90th birthday to Evelyn Locke of Springdale. 54th wedding anniversary celebrations for Reg and Ina Hayward. Happy 54th wedding anniversary to Maxwell and Linda Legg of Whiteway Trinity Bay. Happy 61st anniversary to Bill and Velma Dulmont of Grand Bank, celebrating today. It's a special 93rd birthday for Margaret Heffernan of Jerseyside Placentia. Happy anniversary to Douglas and Evangeline Jock of Postville, Labrador. They will be celebrating 61 years of marriage tomorrow. Daisy and Cyril Clark of Pinson's Arm, Labrador, celebrating their 64th anniversary this week. Happy 50th anniversary to Bill and Sylvia Peddle of Harbor Grace. Happy 50th anniversary to Bonnie and Edgar Avery of Deep Bite. Nellie Watton from Pearly Random Island is celebrating her 90th birthday. Happy 91st birthday going out to Pearl. It's a special 61st wedding anniversary for Tom and Anita Lane of Eastport. Happy anniversary to Gerard and Laura Harnett from St. Lawrence, who are celebrating their 62nd anniversary today. Happy wedding anniversary greetings to Fred and Rhoda Barrett of Old Perlican, celebrating their 76th wedding anniversary. Special congratulations to you two. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Harold and Myrtle Cran of Badger, celebrating this coming week.
All right, time to check in.
Well, we brought you in.
One last time, Zach, check in with you, the hardest working correspondent in television tonight.
Is he really, though? Come on. I think he managed to get the long straw for this one. So, Zach, how is the St. Patrick's Day party?
Well, we brought you inside the pub for the party. I wanted to show folks at home what it's going to take if you want to join that party yourself tonight. We're out here on George Street, and I want to show you the lineups at each and every single Irish bar. We're here at Greensleeves, quite a crowd out here. Further down the road, you can sort of see the crowd in the distance at Brodie Malloy's, where we just came from. Thanks for the hospitality there. Here at O'Reilly's, I can assure you this lineup goes all the way around the corner, and we're going to keep on moving over here to Kelly's. There are folks coming all over the place. Several of these people told me they were here at breakfast when the doors open at 7:30. Musicians crisscrossing from one gig to another. Hey, it's that kind of night. If you want to come down here, I'd wear a little bit of a coat. Avoid the t-shirts like some of this crowd have done, and be prepared to wait in a bit of a lineup. But hey, everybody here on George Street says it's worth it. yeah, we're going to have a quick look around here now. As you can see, the crowds just keep on coming. People are jumping around to keep warm in most cases. Another St. Patrick's Day tradition, kind of half freezing to death down here on George Street. Don't let my little coat fool you. I am cold as well. I definitely put on a little something warm because you might be a little while waiting for a glass of something to warm you up from the inside. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.